So welcome to our Kentucky Department of Education College Board, and in partnership with College Board, welcome to our webinar. We want to give you some key information about the AP exams this year. With me today, I've got Mark Yoho, who is a director at College Board. I've also got Derek Cometa, who is, listen to this cool title, he is the Director of AP Coordinator Experience. And then we will have Claire Lorenz, who's the Senior Director of AP Classroom Instruction with us. All right. To start off, I want to tell you a little bit about funding. So in Kentucky, and many of you have already received our bulletins, you've probably been hit by a few different messages that have come in, but KDE has sent stuff out, College Board has sent stuff out. We just want to make sure that everybody's on the same page with funding. So in a nutshell, here it is, okay? For the 2022 AP exams, your low incomes, your students who receive free or reduced lunch, or who get any kind of AP College Board fee reduction, they will pay $0 for any AP exam. Okay. Anybody that's taken an AP Computer Science exam, regardless of socioeconomic status or lunch status, will receive free AP exams. So they will pay $0. So free and reduced kids, no matter what, free. AP Computer Science kids, no matter what, free. Now, when it comes to your standard fees, your kids that do not qualify for a fee reduction on an AP exam. Hey, Claire, good to have you. For those kiddos, they will pay $10 for AP exams. All right, so anybody taking a standard fee exam will pay $10 per exam. You, as the AP coordinator, will not have to worry about reimbursing KDE or College Board. You won't have to do any of that. KDE will automatically be billed for the remaining cost of those exams. What's cool about this is not only are all standard fee exams $10, that also includes AP Seminar and AP Capstone. Okay, so any standard fee exam, regardless of class content, class subject, will be $10. All right. Now, the only way that is different is if you have additional fees that you charge, right? So you may be working with, you may collect the AP or the College Board rebate. That's $9. Okay. So if you're a school that collects that rebate, then, you know, of course, you are, it is fine that you charge $19. We also have some schools that work with third-party vendors. I know that my College Board friends might want to put their fingers in. They don't like talking about this, but I know that some of our schools do work with those third-party vendors, and I know that there's also a fee for working with them. Right. So if that fee is $4, then, you know, the max you would charge is $23. Okay, that's really that's really a local school or school district decision. All right, so before we get into our friends from College Board presenting you with different information, are there questions about fees? Any questions about fees? All right. Can I, for the people that I can see, which include Robin, Shelly, some other folks, can I at least get like Laura? Can I get some like thumbs up, some excitement that that these fees are only that are so little? Okay, awesome.
So it should be up there now.
All right. So I'm going to kick it over to Mark, Derek, and Claire, who are going to provide you with some additional information.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Damien. I see some familiar names in the chat. Like Damien said, my name is Mark Yoho, and I'm the K-12 director in Kentucky. I'm relatively new to the role in Kentucky. I've been supporting Kentucky for 3 months now, but I've been with the College Board supporting other states for 5 years. So I'm new to Kentucky, but not new to the work. Just getting back from the Kentucky Education Summit yesterday, which was fantastic. I don't know if anybody else besides Damien was there, but really impressive work. Super impressed with the work that's going on in Kentucky. A lot of exciting stuff. And Damien, good job explaining the fee supports. We're super excited about that this year. Just to give some high level stuff about AP for this year, just wanted to highlight some of the research that we have to support the value of AP. In the research last year, 85% of selective colleges and universities said that participation in AP favorably impacts admissions. Last year in 2020, we had over 2.9 million students get a score of 3 or higher on an AP exam, which could potentially have cost savings of over $3 billion. And keeping in mind that—
Are you watching this thing for AP coordinator?
Whoever's talking
I got
about
it. Go ahead. Mark, you need to unmute though. Sorry.
No problem. That all public colleges and universities in Kentucky accept 3s or higher for credit. And for some of the research that we have to support the value of AP, this is one of my favorite slides. And if you want to request this of me, you can. It's indicating that students who take AP do as well or better in the college course that they place into as students who took that entry-level course on the college campus. So that's really validating that AP is college-level coursework, that those students who took AP and test out of that first course do as well or better than the students who took that first course on the college campus. And new support and new research that we have on AP last year, if you attended the counselor workshop, if we look at the scores of a 1 and 2 even on AP exams, you can see the difference in college enrollment from students who take AP versus similar students who did not take AP. You're still seeing about a 17 to 20% increase that a student's much more likely to go to college, even if they get a 1 or a 2 on an AP exam. So speaking just to the mechanics of the ordering, keep in mind that the final ordering deadline for full year courses or first semester courses is November 15th. Okay, so that's a big deadline. For second semester courses, it is March 15th. Okay, so please be aware of those deadlines. Now, if a student goes from a no to a yes after the November 15th deadline, they will incur a $40 fee. So try to make sure that you get those orders in by that deadline. You'll have up until March 15th to get those late orders in. The same thing is true if a student goes from a yes to a no. So if they decommit after November 15th before March 15th, they will incur a $40 fee. So please make sure that you're aware of those fees. And Damien, I hope you don't mind me mentioning that the state will not be paying for those $40 fees. So that's really the only time that the standard structure that Damien talked to at the beginning will not take place. So if a student decommits to the exam after the November 15th deadline, the school would still be charged that $40 cancellation fee. Okay. Does anybody have any questions on any of that? Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and turn it over to Derek, please.
Hello, thanks, Mark. I appreciate the lead-in talking about the $40 cancellation and late order fees is a wonderful lead-in to my introduction. Hey, everyone, Derek Cometa, former AP coordinator. I was an AP coordinator for about 16 years out in California, and now director AP coordinator experience with the College Board and the AP program. So happy to be with you today. Love the opportunity to spend some time with AP coordinators, and wanted to just spend a few minutes before I jump into the slides to just set the stage of what we'll talk about today. So I'm going to go start things off with some key resources. We wanted to just make sure everyone is aware of the resources and support that we try and provide for AP coordinators throughout the year, but especially at the beginning of the year when you are going through this entire process of registration and student enrollment. And as Mark alluded to, getting your exam orders in by November 15th, obviously an important date. So we want you to know that we're here to support you. And this is, I think, especially important for those who are new or newer AP coordinators, folks who are new to the role. It can be a challenging feeling. Sometimes you can feel like you're a little bit on an island or you're by yourself. There's nobody really to talk to. And when you're at lunch with your colleagues at school, no one really understands the work that you do. So it's great that Damien and Mark have put this event together to allow for some collaboration with other AP coordinators. But we wanted to let you know that we're also doing what we can from the AP program side to provide some of those opportunities as well. So I will kick this over to my PowerPoint. I hope you can see that. So I wanted to just open up by talking about some learning opportunities for AP coordinators. So there's a URL you can see on the slide there, collegeboard.org/AP coordinator training. That's one that you would please, I'd ask that you bookmark. That's a great page. We always, everything that's new, we put up there for AP coordinators. So currently right now we have a video of the entire back to school workshop available. We have information about AP Coordinator Live Power Hours. So these are 1 hour Zoom sessions that we provide some content, and then we provide everyone with an opportunity to attend a breakout room and collaborate with other AP coordinators. We have on-demand videos, and really everything regarding training or outreach we provide at that spot. So again, we understand that not everyone is in the same place. Some people have been in the role for several years now and have been through the fall ordering process and have been through paper and pencil testing before. But we know some folks are newer, and we know that some folks may actually be considering AP in the future and may be here to find out more about AP as well. So wanted to just try and provide this high-level summary of all the support and guidance that we try and share throughout the start of the school year. So I did want to talk about one of those supports. So we have a video that's available right now. It's a quick 18-minute video. It's regarding managing student enrollment, specifically how it relates to actions in AP registration and ordering. So this is a great video to think about watching after you have your students enrolled and you're starting to manage that student enrollment with students changing sections or transfers and things like that. So some great information there. Again, an easy on-demand video to review. We have a longer video that if you're new and you were not able to attend our back to school workshop, each summer we host a full workshop that covers everything from the start of school up through November 15th. We have a video of that workshop available for you. And so if you're new and you would like to kind of get everything step by step, I'll try and do a super condensed version for you today. But if you'd like to hear about everything step by step, this would be a great video to watch. It's also a great video if you are newer and maybe you've been in the role just 1 or 2 years and you'd still just like to sort of validate and double check your steps. It's natural to feel a little anxious sometimes about, like, did I forget something? Did I remember to do this? Did I remember to do that? What sequence was I supposed to do these things in? There's a lot of details, and most of them we only do once per year. So it's a natural feeling to be a little unsettled at times. So it's a great opportunity to use this video and to use this moment today that we're going to share together to validate your the actions that you've taken to support your AP program. And of course, I'm sure you have this already, but I would be remiss if I didn't mention it. Please download the AP Coordinators Manual Part 1. This is really our guide for everything related to our AP coordinator role. It's a PDF only, and it'll take us from the start of school all the way through November 15th. You can see the super long URL there, but you can always just Google AP Coordinators Manual Part 1 and get to that link as well. One more resource that I wanted to share, and it's going to tie into the rest of our conversation today, is the Coordinated Podcast. So if you don't mind, we can run a little activity right now, and you can grab your cell phone right now. you can turn on the camera and you can scan the QR code that you actually see on your computer screen right now or on your laptop screen. That will take you to the website for our coordinated podcast. And this is a weekly podcast only for AP coordinators. Of course, I'm a little biased about this podcast because I happen to be lucky enough to host the show. We have some great episodes coming up on specific topics of interest. So AP Capstone, AP Computer Science Principles, AP Potential, and then 3 others that are very interesting in terms of the content that's related to the AP course, the AP exam completion, and AP exam performance. And in those 3, we're actually going to be interviewing several AP coordinators to get their thoughts and feedback about some of their best practices and the things that they do at their schools. So we love these opportunities to engage with AP coordinators who are actually doing the work at their schools, and also to just sort of share that love of learning. And we're all sort of learning a little bit about some of these new things as well, Capstone and Computer Science Principles being 2 of the newer AP courses. So it's great to sort of get that background as well and learn about those activities. So
Derek, if I may,
yes, sir.
We would love to submit some of the some names from Kentucky AP coordinators for that podcast if you are ever interested.
I like it. I like
Please
it.
send them all.
Just
Yes, sir.
We got you.
funnel them through Mark. We would love to hear that. Let's do that.
All right. If
That would be
somebody, if
great.
anybody's interested, throw it in the chat box. We'd love to pass that name along and help
Yes.
showcase Kentucky.
If you are a listener of the show and you want to contribute to the show, we would be super interested in having you on. So that would be great. Thanks for that plug. That's great to know. So if you do listen to the show, you'll know that we have spent a majority of the this is what you see on the slide right now is season 5. What we have planned coming up starting later in November. But what we've been doing up until this point in the fall is we've going through what we call steps to success. And I thought that would actually be a great way just to sort of talk through all the steps that are required, that all the steps that you have been doing, that you have completed. Let's take a moment to just talk through them very quickly, validate, make sure everyone's on the same page and that everyone's in a good place to submit their exam order by November 15th, like Mark said, to make sure we avoid any of those late order or cancellation fees. So I will kind of guide through these steps very quickly, and then I can jump over into AP registration and ordering to show a couple things as we go as well. But we start with our steps to success. We start with early planning. So we had an episode around planning at the start of school year, communication to your AP teachers, communication with your students, with your families, all of that. That rolled right into, of course, getting your access codes for AP registration and ordering, doing your setup of AP registration and ordering, completing your participation form. Most people did complete their participation form at the same time they did their setup. That's super important just because we cannot order our exams until the participation form has been submitted. So if you're in AP registration and ordering and the yellow button to submit your order is not yellow, and it doesn't give you that option to click on it, that's probably because you still have you still need to complete your participation form, which is an easy process. It's just something that you need to do before you can submit your order. So early on, there was also an option to set AP registration ordering it up to either a default or an advanced setting, and that's just a preference on whether when students enroll in their class sections, whether you want them to automatically be defaulted to taking the AP exam or you want them to be defaulted to undecided, meaning they have to choose yes or no for their exam. After that, we actually step into creating class sections. And one of the parts about creating class sections is choosing a teacher for those sections. And that's a pretty good segue, I think, into bringing in my colleague Claire to talk a little bit about AP Course Audit, because teachers have to be in AP Course Audit to show up in AP registration and ordering for AP coordinators to assign them to their class sections. Hey, Claire, how are you doing today?
Hey, Derek, I'm doing okay. Thanks for tapping me in. I will be back in a little bit to talk more about AP Classroom, but Derek and I discussed that this might be the best time to talk a little bit about the process that is the AP Course Audit process. And teachers have different feelings about the AP Course Audit process. A lot of them will see it as a hurdle to getting access to the things that they need to teach their course. But Derek and I are here to kind of dispel that rumor and to kind of just show you very, very quickly what that would entail on the end of the teacher. While it's probably the case that many of you are not currently teaching an AP course, you may actually be the course audit administrator for your school. So I'm going to try to show this to you from just a teacher end so you know what they're going through in the event that you have some teachers who might be struggling with getting started. So I'm going to share my screen really quickly. And Mark has very generously put on screen the web page for AP Course Audit, which looks like this. And teachers will be then prompted to sign in. I'm going to sign in with my teacher credentials right here. And let's see, hopefully this will work. And you'll be able to see exactly what teachers are going to see when they first start. So you can see this is going to be a fake school. And this is not anything real, but it will get the point across. I had a course here that I had added, but let's say I'm teaching Calc AB, but I'm also teaching AP Statistics. So what I could do, this is all teachers really have to do. They add the course, they click add at the bottom of the screen, and they literally go over to the course that they're teaching. And they click continue. They ask, are you sure you want to add this course at this particular school? I say yes. And my course will now come up on my AP Course Audit screen. Just by having added the course kind of gets me in the pipeline. Derek, correct me if I'm wrong here, right? That this actually now recognizes the teacher as an AP teacher at the school, and now they can be attached to an AP class. Is that correct?
That is correct, and I'll show that when you're done. So that's perfect. Yes.
Sure. So I'm just going to say one more other thing here, Derek, and that's going to be related to what we talk about after we talk about AP registration and ordering, and that's AP Classroom. And AP Classroom is going to be where AP teachers at your school access all of the instructional and learning resources that can help them with their instruction of course content and skills. In order to get access to AP Classroom resources, teachers have to go one step further here, and they have to complete the course audit form. And the course audit form is going to basically ask them to attest to certain things that they will keep in mind when they are teaching their course. As you can see here, the first list is very, very basic and straightforward. And then there are going to be some specific curricular requirements that are particular to the AP course the teacher is teaching. There are things about the textbook. There are things about, for statistics, students have to have access to standard computer output for statistical readouts. There are certain course specific things here teachers will have to attest to, like if there are labs or if a certain amount of different types of texts have to be read, etc. Teachers will attest to all of those things. They will then select a textbook. I happen to own this one, so I'm going to pick that one. And they're going to ask whether or not they intend to use the course outline unit-based model from the course and exam description, and whether or not they plan to use the AP resources. There's no penalty here for choosing no. So then they're going to be asked for some certain start and end dates of the school year. I'm just going to kind of put some things in here. and then it's going to ask me to put in my initials. Once I do this, this will go to the administrator for approval. And what the course audit administrator will have to do, that may be you, that may be an assistant principal, another guidance counselor, the principal, it may be any of those people at your school, but that person will have to sign into their course audit account and then be able to approve those course audit forms, and basically are attesting to very similar things, especially if you're in a supervisory role. The final thing that will have to be done is teachers will have to submit a course document, and that could be a syllabus that they create on their own. But that doesn't have to happen until January, the end of January of 2022 for this year. Once the school administrator approves the form, teachers will have access to the resources within AP Classroom. They don't have to submit the syllabus to get that access. However, if they do not submit their syllabus document by the end of January, it's the last day of January, they will lose their access to AP Classroom resources. And as Mark and Derek will probably attest, it's highly unlikely that we will be able to reinstate that coverage. They must meet that deadline in order to maintain their access to their resources for the rest of the spring semester and through to the AP exam. So while it's not important necessarily that this be done immediately, the sooner the better, because if you miss that deadline, teachers will lose their access. So that's kind of the nuts and bolts really quickly of AP Course Audit. I'm going to kick it back to Derek, and when in a little bit, I'll return to talk a little bit more about AP Classroom. Derek, back to you.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Course document that you were speaking of that has to be done, or they would lose access?
That's correct. So, I mean, if I click here really quickly, it's going to give teachers options. It's going to be submit a new or revised syllabus. They can claim identical to somebody else in your school building. So if you have like two AP statistics teachers, one wrote the syllabus and one didn't, and they're both going to use the same syllabus, the second teacher can claim identical to a syllabus that's already in use, or teachers can adopt the unit guides or a sample syllabus, and that's an option for them as well. So they have options here. They don't necessarily have to create their own from scratch. This is probably the hardest one to do, but some teachers like to do this because they're going to take a unique spin on their course. But this is the part that has to be done by January 31st in order for teachers to maintain access. If they do not do it at this time, they will lose access. And Laura, I think when you sign in, if you are the course audit administrator, you'll be able to see the status of course audit submissions at your end. You can also check the AP course ledger, and the ledger is updated a couple of times per year to reflect teachers who have been approved and are fully endorsed to teach AP. All right, Derek, I think really now back to you, and then we'll pick up here with other questions later.
No, thank you so much, Claire, and thanks for the great questions. It's great to have that opportunity to get things clarified. And really what Claire just talked about leads right into a quick peek into something we're probably familiar with, the AP registration and ordering. So as Claire mentioned, I'm on the courses page here in AP registration and ordering, and there was a question I saw about adding a section. So I'm going to use AP Art History. This is a demo account here. So there's 3 sections in AP Art History already here, period 1, period 2, and period 3. If you wanted to add an exam only section, you can just go to here, add section, and this is where you would select exam only. So that's how we create an exam only section, which is very easy. If we're if we are looking at a I'm going to open this one up. Whoops, sorry, wrong button. If we are looking at an existing section and we look at the teachers available, these are the teachers that are approved through AP Course Audit, which is the step, that first part of the steps that Claire just took us through. So once they have entered that initial information into AP Course Audit, they have that box up here in the AP Course Audit screen that Claire showed, then their name will pop up in our drop downs, and that's when we can assign them to a class section in AP Registration and Ordering. And so while I'm here, I wanted to just quickly cover a couple things. So I'm going to use AP Biology here as an example. For each of the sections that we have created for AP Biology, we're looking at our steps to success, thinking about that. We've created our class sections. For each of them, there is an Actions tab here at the end, and that allows us to either edit the section, which I just showed you. We can delete the section if we no longer need the section at all. But C join code and C transfer code are two pretty common things, and those will get sometimes mixed up. So it's very important to use the transfer code, not the join code, when a student's actually transferring into your school and wants to enroll in a class section. So I'll show this really quickly. This join code, which is not an official join code, so don't use this one, but this join code starts with MM3, and that's what students would use to enroll in their class section. Except if they're a transfer student, you can see the transfer code is a totally different code. And that code allows the student to enroll in their class section without incurring any late order fees. So if it's after November 15th and the student transfers in, it's really important to use that transfer code so the student does not incur any $40 late order fees. So I'm going to jump back out of this for a moment. Take us back to our fancy staircase here. All right, so we just did the class sections and AP Course Audit step. That leads to student accounts, so that students create their account. That's what they use to enroll in their class sections. That takes us to using the join code to go to student enrollment. Once students have enrolled, we always have a few students left on our list to what we call track and chase. You have to track them down, chase them down, get them to enroll. Once we have completed our student enrollment in class sections, we go on to collecting AP exam fees. And oh my gosh, the news that was shared earlier today, that was the first time I had heard that about the great state funding available. That is unbelievable. State funding, and so great, especially I was thinking about the computer science part where any computer science exam is free, that for all students, regardless of income status. That is fabulous, fabulous, fabulous. We also talked about exam-only sections and how to enroll students in, when to use exam-only sections and how to enroll them. And that takes us to managing those student schedule changes, transfer students, exam order prep, ultimately pushing the submit button for AP registration and ordering, and finally, celebrating when it gets to be November 15th. Now, before we get to that celebration, I did want to jump right back in to AP registration and ordering one more time. Let me share a different window here. Very good. All right. So we were on the courses page. We can also use the students page as well. And I just wanted to point out a couple highly little tips here. So one, on the students page, if you have a lot of students, scrolling through the alphabetical list can be a little bit cumbersome. So you do have a search box here that you can use to search for a student, and you can type in, if you know the student you're looking for, you can type in the student's name. It will take you to the student. Here we have a sample student who is taking a lot of different APs, taking advantage of the free, the additional state funding in Kentucky. But I'll use this AP Biology here as an example. So each of the exams for this student, the student's Billy, each of the exams for the student also has an action tab. And for that, you can do change section, drop student, or transfer out. Change section is when a student is actually moving from one existing section to another existing section. Change section never impacts exam fees. So that is, whenever you can use change section, please use change section because it does not impact exam fees. Drop student. If you drop a student after November 15th, that would incur a cancellation fee of $40 per exam. So drop student should really be used carefully. especially after November 15th. And then transfer out, when you use transfer out, you get a pop-up window that shows that will warn you and advise you that, hey, if you're going to use this action, you're going to transfer Billy out of your school completely. So transfer out in AP registration and ordering means a student who's transferring out of the school completely and is no longer going to be taking any courses. So when you transfer out for one course, it actually transfers out for all courses. So that's why you get that big pop-up window there. All right, so I mentioned a moment ago that when you get to, we've been working, and we appreciate all your hard work. We've been working to get to November 15th to have all your students ready to really have done those last couple steps. And those last couple steps usually involve looking at your class rosters out of your school's SIS, your school student information system, your school information system, using those rosters, compare those rosters versus the rosters in AP registration and ordering, make sure that all the students match up. Everybody who wants an exam has an exam ordered for them. Anybody who does not want an exam does not have an exam ordered for them. So that's sort of the final, very, very important double check at the last minute. Then go in, make sure you have your exam order submitted. If you have any other changes that come in after you've pushed the submit button, that's fine. Just go in, make the changes, update your order by hitting that submit button one more time. Again, the final deadline is not till 11:59 p.m. Eastern time on Monday, the 15th. So we've been working towards that date, and that's an important date. We're going to do our double checks, but I did want to share sort of an advanced tip for experienced AP coordinators afterwards. So we're talking about a November 16th best practice. So not November 15th, but a November 16th best practice. Here's something to consider to just make sure that your exam roster stays intact and you don't have any surprises, right? Because after November 15th, you really you do not want anything to have happened to your exam order without you knowing about it. So here's 3 quick things you can do to help keep your exam order intact and keep everything visible to you. So first you go to the settings tab of AP registration and ordering, and you go to roster management. So when you open roster management, we have 2 things that we're going to do here. The first one is, you see we have this option that is currently enabled, so teachers can manage the student roster. So teachers can move students around, teachers can drop students. But if you click disabled and then save, that will stop teachers from having that ability to do that. So you can use your teachers in the fall. Please use your teachers in the fall to help you with student enrollment. But then once you get to the point where you have submitted your order, it's generally considered, many AP coordinators would consider the best practice to turn that feature off. No, do not allow your teachers to move students around anymore or drop students without telling you. So that's one. So you click disabled and then hit save. The second one is to use this button here, which expires all join codes. So that means if you have been distributing join codes throughout the fall, at this point you've submitted your order. Now you want to sort of freeze it. You want to lock it in. So if you click that button, you will expire all join codes, which means any of the existing join codes that you had been using will no longer be they will no longer work. Students could no longer use them to enroll. So a teacher could not give out that old join code by mistake. Now, I will say a new join code is automatically generated, but the existing join code is no longer an option. And then the third thing you can do, and this is really a sort of the icing on the cake if you would like to do it, is to go into your section. So I'm going to go into this section here. So I have 3 sections of students here with 3 students each. So period 1, teachers Duncan Cooper, there's 3 students in that class. I can go to actions and edit section. So right now, this section is set up for a maximum number of students of 40, but we know I submitted my order and there's only 3 students in there. So I would consider changing this to 3 and then saving that. Now it says here for period 1, teachers Duncan Cooper, student registrations 3 out of 3. The reason I would change that section capacity, this technique is called matching section capacity. So you match the section capacity to the actual enrollment. By doing that, now, even if a student had a new join code, they still could not enroll because the section capacity would have to be exceeded. So that would be something the AP coordinator would have to go in and change the section capacity to allow that student to enroll. Now, depending on how many sections you have, that could take a little bit of time, and maybe it may not be worth the extra time. But if you're interested in finding every way possible to sort of lock down your order and make sure that nothing happens to that exam order after you have submitted it, then this is a sort of a good best practice, a final sort of double check to make sure that everything is intact.
Hey, Derek,
And
there
with
was
that,
I was just going to say there's a quick question here in
Great.
the chat about the expiring all join codes button. And the question was, if it's November 16th, should that button be used if your school is on a 4x4 block and will have spring registration? Does that affect anything?
It depends on how the class sections were set up, so that would sort of be case dependent. But expiring the join code does not change the actual section itself. So students could still enroll in that same section if that is the way it's set up and the way the block schedule works. So it's possible. It's certainly possible. You would just want to give out the newly generated join code for the students on the upcoming block in the upcoming block. But no, that's a great question. Thank you for asking.
Perfect.
Right. Well, Claire, that's it for the AP registration and ordering part. Can you, I'm excited about this part because I actually need to learn a little bit more about AP Classroom. So I'm so glad to have you here. Can you take us through a little tour?
Sure, happy to do that. I am going to aim to do this pretty quickly and of course save some time for question and answer at the end. And I do want to recognize the fact that the majority of everybody on the call is an AP coordinator, so may not necessarily be teaching an AP course, but we hope here that you'll be able to talk to your AP teachers about what is available in AP Classroom so that they can make use of all of the resources that have been developed throughout the past couple of years. So I'm going to fly through kind of what the resources actually are, and then I'll show you a little bit of a tour of AP Classroom, knowing that all of you as AP coordinators have access to AP Classroom, at least to be able to see what the resources are and to see what teachers and students are using it. So really quickly, when we created all of the AP resources that are in AP Classroom, we meant them to support every stage of the teaching and learning cycle. So whether you're planning for your course, teaching, having students practice, assessing what they've learned, getting or giving feedback to your students, or reviewing and preparing for the AP exam, there is a resource in AP Classroom that is geared toward helping teachers achieve that goal. You can see I have everything aligned here on this slide, and all of these features and resources are in AP Classroom. If we focus kind of on the teaching and learning piece, the main resource that is available to teachers and students are something that we call AP Daily videos. Here's a screenshot from one of the first videos in our AP Chemistry course. What are these? So they're basically a series of videos that run anywhere from about 6 to 12 minutes. That can be watched on demand. So in other words, at any time, anywhere, as long as students have access to the internet. And teachers can assign them to students and hopefully save direct class time to focus on areas where students need the most help and support. They cover every topic and skill within a course. And they're always visible to students regardless of whether or not teachers have assigned them. So I saw a little bit earlier, folks were asking about exam only sections for certain courses. If you do have students in your class, in your school who are taking an AP exam, but who are not enrolled in a corresponding AP course, whether that's because they're retaking an AP exam or they're self-studying for an exam that because your school doesn't offer the course. Once you enroll those students in exam only section, they will have access to the AP daily videos. So this is the one resource that does not require the interaction of a teacher. So you may want to tell a student who is enrolled in an exam only section that they do have the means of accessing AP daily, which can help them learn the content and skills that they'll be assessed on the AP exam. It's one thing we can make available to them as they are preparing for the AP exam in May. For students who are actually in an AP class with a teacher, the teacher can decide to use AP Daily in a variety of ways, right? They can use them in class, as homework, for additional practice, as review. We've heard teachers using them to introduce new content and skills, to kind of either complement or supplement their direct instruction, reinforce concepts after class. Again, they can be watched and assigned in any way that a teacher would like. And the beauty of teachers actually assigning them is that they can track student completion rates in AP Classroom. We've kind of set the bar pretty high for this so that teachers can be sure that students who are watching the videos have gotten the complete set of instruction. And even if students are watching on their own, they're getting ahead of where they are in class. All of that information will be available to the teacher as well. And then when we get to feedback and practice, we have two different types of formative assessments. One are the topic questions, which are meant to provide practice with applying course content and skills for each topic within a unit. These are really meant to check for understanding. These aren't supposed to necessarily be quiz questions where teachers are kind of assembling them and looking for a grade for their grade book. They're meant to provide teachers with just-in-time feedback to help them identify student misunderstandings and to help students really identify where they need to target their learning and where they may need to put in a little bit more study time. They can be used before, during, after class, and they can be used in a variety of different ways. We know that teachers are choosing to kind of assemble topic questions in a way that helps them either warm students up before class or maybe helps review material at the end of class or for homework. While topic questions are meant to be given while you are teaching each individual topic within a unit, progress checks are meant to be given at the end of each unit. But again, these are opportunities to have students practice the content and skills that they've learned at the end of every unit. And again, they're meant to give feedback to students and teachers on their progress. And now you have a completely separate set of questions that are different from the topic questions so that you can use topic questions while you're teaching a core or teaching topics within a unit and progress checks at the end of the unit to have another way to assess student understanding. And then finally, we know that the thing that teachers tend to use the most is the question bank, which is meant to create targeted, customized practice for students. This is really just an online library of real questions that teachers can use to make their own assessments at any time, whether that's in class or for homework. The question bank also houses questions from our full practice exams, which can also be found in a full form, both on the AP Course Audit website and in AP Classroom. And really, again, this this exists so that teachers can give students practice with the content and skills where they need the most help and support, which can vary from class to class, school to school, district to district, and state to state. So this really allows a teacher to hone in and really target the needs of their own students. That said, I'll just tell you, I mean, I know we have all different types of folks who serve as AP coordinators, and I don't necessarily know what your actual roles are at your school other than being AP coordinator. So in the event that, I do have assistant principals or anybody else in an supervisory role on the line, I do want to say that some of the things that you should have teachers consider when they're using the question bank is that they want to make sure they're choosing the right question at the right time. A lot of the questions that are in the question bank are summative in nature, which means that they're meant to be given at the end of the school year after students have learned all of the course content and skills. We know that when we give a summative exam, whether it's a midterm or a final, that we're assuming students have mastery of all of the things we've taught them throughout the school year, because it requires a synthesis of all different types of content and all different types of skills. Students may not be ready for those types of questions in, like, let's say October or November of the fall semester. And so teachers really should be cognizant of the content and skills that a question is aligned to, and whether or not students have had ample time to practice and hone those skills and content knowledge before they're giving a question. A good example of this is, when English or history teachers tried to give a full essay question, within the first 2 months of school, just because they taught a certain piece of content. And it could be that students have the content knowledge, but they haven't yet had enough practice with the skills that are required for formulating a cohesive essay, or even formulating a defensible claim. Those are the things that we want them to practice before we give them a whole entire prompt and expect them to produce a high quality essay. Love the technology faux pas that happen when you're working from home. So there's that. So I'd just kind of like to spend maybe 5 minutes really going through some of the live things that are in AP Classroom here. So I'm going to jump over to my web browser, and teachers will sign in the same place where you do, myap.collegeboard.org. They'll see something a little bit different than you see when you log in as an AP coordinator. Your front and center piece is the AP registration and ordering system, and then there's a link for AP Classroom should you decide to go in there and look at the resources that are available. Teachers won't have that same experience. They're going to see this when they log in. They're going to see a lot of teacher resources that are curated to them based on the courses that they teach, and they're going to see icons and options for the courses that they teach and that they're course authorized to teach. I do want to say that, again, they'll only see the things that are relevant to them. I'll just happen to pick biology here, but you'll see, you talked a little bit, Derek talked a little bit about teachers having access to do things and create course sections. We hope you're past that point by this point in November, but in the event that you are still creating sections, know that teachers can have the option to do this themselves as well. And so you want to be careful of when that is happening at your school. This is where teachers are going to be able to see join codes for their classes as well, so they can get them here, and as well as other information about their classes. But I'm going to go directly to AP Classroom here, and that is going to take me as a teacher to AP Classroom proper and the home page for biology. Teachers will have access to some things that you as a coordinator may not have access to, like you will not have the ability to assign an assessment because you don't have students. So some of the things that you'll see will be a little bit different, but in general, this is what teachers are going to see. If you do have teachers talking to you about getting help and using AP Classroom, I'll do a quick PSA here and say that this help menu in the top right-hand corner is really an amazing tool. Not only can teachers kind of contact our AP Classroom team with technical issues, but our AP Classroom development team is always working to update the help menu so that it basically tells teachers the latest and greatest. You can see that this was actually just updated a few days ago, and it gives you the recent additions and improvements to AP Classroom. There was a tutorial that was added here, and then a guide to students self-scoring their FRQs. You can see that there are other videos that are available here as well. And I do want to point out that anything you could possibly want to know, let's say assigning and unassigning AP daily videos, all of this is here. And you can see that there are screenshots that are annotated very carefully for teachers. So if they just want to get a read through about what all of the buttons mean instead of watching a video, they're able to do that. All of the information they could possibly want is in this help menu. If you or anyone else at your school, like teachers, would like a more kind of walkthrough, we don't have a cool podcast like Derek does, but we are doing a series of AP Classroom detailed tutorials on our AP Educators YouTube channel. And you can see we did an overview by discipline for teachers, which was a series of 4 different videos that we did for all of the disciplines back in August of 2021, right when this new refreshed look of AP Classroom launched. And we are now at this point doing really in-depth tutorials for all of the features in AP Classroom. So we've done 3 already that have aired. The 4th one airs next Tuesday. Teachers can join live if they'd like and actually ask questions through YouTube's live Q&A. Otherwise, it will be here for them to watch on demand. And again, this is just youtube.com/AP Educators. And we'll curate these throughout the year. We're hoping this series will end up with about 13 episodes for teachers to get a really in-depth look at all of the individual sessions. The next one's on the FRQ section of progress checks. And again, that airs next Tuesday at 5 p.m. Eastern Time if you'd like to join live. Else it will be there shortly thereafter to watch on demand.
Hey, Claire, we have a question from Robin, if you don't mind,
Oh,
please.
sure. Yep, absolutely. Let's go for it.
I think you honestly answered it.
Oh.
I was trying to figure out. I had a teacher who said he couldn't sign kids up because his syllabus was not approved, and I know he can go in and use the syllabus that you all have already created or shared or whatever. And I've encouraged him to look at that and make sure that would work for him. But if he can't get his syllabus approved, because I thought that wasn't due until like January 1st or sometime. Can I go ahead and create his sections? Because right now he has no kids signed up.
So and Derek, let's tag team this answer a little bit. So what he needs to, if he's a brand new teacher to the AP course, I see you nodding. Okay, great. So what he needs to do is he needs to go into the course audit system and add the course. So the first thing we need to make sure that he's done is that he has added the course. I'm going to go back here really quickly and see if we can do that again. So he needs to go to Course Audit, sign in. He needs to add the course. So I'll do this again because it doesn't matter. It's a demo account. I'll say he's a biology teacher. We
I was
click
gonna say,
add.
he has, like, I can see that the course has been added, but
Okay.
he hasn't created the class.
So it should be once he added the course, can you tell whether or not he's completed the course audit form for that course?
This was kind of new information to me today, so I haven't had a chance to check it.
Okay, so it could be that he needs to do this, right? So once he's added the course, you as a coordinator should be able to make the section for him. Derek, correct me if I'm wrong there.
Correct. Either the teacher can create it themselves or the AP coordinator can create it.
Correct, but that's just to create the section. In order for him to get access to the resources, he needs to complete the course audit form.
Correct.
So it means
Correct.
he would have to complete the course audit form, and whoever is the course audit administrator on your side of the house, whether that's you, an assistant principal, whomever, would also have to attest to that. And once that happens, he will have access to the resources. Now, he will have then until January 31st to submit the syllabus, whether that is his own syllabus or his, he's claiming identical, or he's using a sample syllabus or our unit guides, whatever option he picks, he needs to do that by January 31st. If he doesn't do it by that time, he will lose access to the resources.
Right.
You won't lose like your exam order or anything like that. That will still have happened, like that'll go through, but he won't have access to like the question bank and the topic. He won't have access to any of that.
I gotcha. I think he was just under the impression the syllabus had to be approved before he could sign kids up, and so
Yeah. That's a common misunderstanding. So I can totally understand why a teacher would think that, but that is it's not that complicated. It's one less step than that.
Okay, awesome. We should be able to roll these out in the next 2 days. I was like, I need a week to check them, man. I got to get these done.
Yeah, you're smart to have an internal deadline a little sooner than November 15th. That's a great idea. Thank you for sharing that.
Well, and I was going to say another thing that I have found helpful. I was with you all the pilot year that you all like first rolled out this system, and then I wasn't the coordinator until now again. I have a piece of paper that parents, I mean, I know it's paper and who uses paper, but parents have to like the kids check, here are the classes that I'm in, and then they check yes or no or whatever for each thing on the paper. And then their parents have to sign that like, yes, I know we're on free and reduced lunch, or yes, I know my kid is taking the test. Yes, like I make the parents like sign the paper, and then I cross-reference. And you'd be shocked at how many of the online orders don't match the paper orders.
Yep.
No, that sounds like a old school but effective process. So effective is more important than old school in that sense.
Whatever works, right? Like whatever works for you.
Whatever works.
I know we're at time, but I just want to kind of point out one more thing in the background there. I was kind of switching over to my admin account, which looks a little bit more about what you all will see on your end. But something that you have access to that teachers don't have access to is this usage report that's here in AP Classroom. And under my reports, if you go to usage, you'll be able to actually see what teachers in your school are actually making use of AP Classroom. So if you are involved in those kind of conversations, especially if you are like a guidance counselor or an assistant principal or something at that level, typically this will load, you'll be able to see what teachers are using AP Classroom, what they've actually assigned, what students have actually done, whether it's watching videos or anything like this. I don't know why this isn't loading, but it's there, trust me. There we go. So you can actually see here who all of my teachers are, when their last login was, how many classes are available to them, how many students are enrolled, and then what assignments are being assigned and done by and completed by students, and if they've like done any professional learning, etc. So this is often an interesting tool to use, but you'll get a sense of which of your teachers are using AP Classroom and which ones aren't. So I kind of wanted to put that out there in the event that is helpful. Again, teachers don't have access to that. Only you and whoever has your level of access to the building will be able to see that, but it could be helpful in having some of those development conversations and learning conversations at your school. I think, Mark, I'm going to kick it back over to you to see what you'd like us to do next.
Fantastic. Thanks so much, Claire and Derek. That was amazing. I appreciate that. Has anybody been sitting on any questions? Well, Derek and Claire were talking. Okay. Well, I think we will wrap here. Really hope that you found this to be a great use of your time. You know, we tried to take you from AP Course Audit to the registration process to classroom. We do have 12 days until the order deadline, as you're likely aware. My email address is in the chat here, or it's my name again is Mark Yoho. My email address is myoho@collegeboard.org. You're welcome to start with me with any questions that you might have. If you want to reach out and discuss doing some professional development with anything regarding College Board throughout the year, please reach out. Happy to try to be helpful when I can. Thanks again to Derek and Claire for joining us. That was super generous of you guys with your time. I really appreciate it. Damon, do you have any thoughts you'd like
Yeah,
to?
I just wanted to, I wanted to thank all three of you. Mark, thank you for being a partner in Kentucky and all of your work and support. And then Derek and Claire, thank you so much for your expertise, bringing your expertise to us here in the state. AP coordinators, thank you for joining. We are here for you. We want to support you as best we can. So if there are other ways that we can do that, please reach out. Please reach out. And then I see a hand from Anita. Are we good on that one?
I just have one quick question. Mr. Sweeney, I missed the very beginning. I was with a student and
Got
a
it. Let me
about
review.
the costs.
Okay, let me review. All right. Any student that qualifies for an AP, for a College Board fee reduction will pay $0 for an AP exam in the spring of 2022. Any student that takes an AP Computer Science test in Kentucky, AP Computer Science exam in Kentucky, will pay $0 in the spring of 2022. Any student that is a standard fee student, right, taking a standard fee exam, will pay $10 for that exam in Kentucky. And you will not have to worry about the other costs. KDE will be automatically billed for the remaining cost of those exams. So all you focus on is collecting the $10, unless, of course, you have additional fees like the rebate fee, or potentially you might be working with a vendor that may take a little bit extra. So whatever your additional cost to that $10 is on the school. It's a local decision, so it's on the school or the district. But as far as KDE is concerned, those exams are $10. Okay. This excludes any additional fees like unused exams or canceled exams. All right. So Anita, is that helpful, or do you have other questions?
It is. That's exactly how I thought that was going to work. And I think that's awesome. This is my first year as the AP coordinator, and I think that is a great, great thing for our students.
We're really excited. We are trauma informed at KDE, and we know that there's been a lot of financial strain on our folks, our families. So so we are happy to help.
So
All
I'm
right.
sorry, when we get
Yep.
the invoice or the bill from College Board, it will only reflect the $10 fee, those updated costs, or will it be the full amount and then the state will reimburse us?
Your bill will reflect $10 and then any additional fees that students may have incurred.
Great, thank you.
Thank you. All right, at this time, we'll conclude the webinar. Thank you so much to our friends from College Board. Thank you, everybody, for being with us today.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, everyone.